generally acceptable, but like there's light novels that I've read where it like gets to a certain point and then the app buys it out, and like I forget what it was called. It was like a classic isekai into a world where I was the best at a video game, so I'm gonna be even better.
Yeah.
Number 16.
The classic.
We've all been there.
But
I wish I could just
after it switched to a different app, it was literally like 50 cents a chapter to read this book. I was on chapter 968 of like 2000, and I had to stop because I knew I was gonna like put my card in, and then I was gonna read. And be like, read it tomorrow. What did I spend $200?
Oh no!
I bought all of the chapters.
What? I mean, they're translating 50 cents.
Well, like I get it, but like,
it adds up.
Bruh.
Obviously, adds up in like a 500 chapter series. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts.
Please help them. Support their pages.
Just release the English version so I can buy it for $100 and save $2,000.
Yes, creators know that we will buy it if you just make it.
Yeah.
If you give it to America, we will buy it. We're there.
We will. We're filthy consumers.
We keep
all of
redoing
us.
our own stories over and over. Little Mermaid 5. She's in the water again. We do it.
That's for copyright reasons. That's literally what it is.
It's true.
If you don't re-release some kind of content using your
you lose it.
Yeah,
You lose the power of
which is why
image.
every 10 years a Disney movie comes back. Like that's why. It's
I wish I could see the list
in 4 years.
What do they have to go off of? Like what's theirs? And then like, please let me help you make a new pop.
So in like 4 years, Mickey Mouse. You always know how long, like copyright stuff goes for based off Mickey Mouse, because it's so old that it is the oldest running. So then when it's about to be at the age where it becomes like public content, Disney takes whoever it is to court for like $800 billion.
I did hear about that.
So in like 4 years, Mickey Mouse, there's going to be a huge lawsuit or a court case, and they're going to pay a bunch of people, and they're going to extend how long you can keep claim on
So if they ever get an anime, we're screwed.
But that's literally what happens.
Wow, maybe.
So,
They will.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Mickey
I'm
Mouse
afraid.
is the oldest content.
Lord
afraid for
Disney
anime.
will own all. We're with it, dude. Like, cool. Thank you. Thank you for supporting everything we love.
We're no longer the United States of America. United States of Disney.
Yeah, pretty much. But we love you, so support us. We're gonna push it. Please, if you haven't seen, what is that? Visions. I mean, obviously watch it. It's amazing.
I have not.
I have not seen it.
It's really good.
Anime answer for all Jedi action, and the only downside, right, is that they are short episodes.
Yes.
When I heard they kind of put out feelers for like, hey, studios, give us something to give us a sample of an anime that you can make for us.
You were telling me about this. They just took everyone's like submissions and kind of just like,
they're like, these are
threw
awesome.
them in there.
Each submission was an episode.
Very well
That's
done.
what I heard, yeah.
Very well done.
I got like some serious like extended universe vibes from it, which I was really excited about because like,
which is cool.
As somebody who's like read a bunch of the books, people were like, "Oh, there's no content," or like, "That's not a force powered." I'm like, actually,
if you
there's
look
a
at
no idea.
there's like a 5-book series centered around that.
Just on that feeling and emotion you have to feel while you activate it, like
force healing. That's some BS. Well, actually,
those are the fake fans.
Do you
that
love
that.
something?
The ones that
are
became
you a
fans
cold,
when
dead
Star
Jedi?
Wars
Who's really
became
the good
like.
guy? Who's really the bad guy? Like
how did they get through space?
That's like Marvel's fans. I've been reading comic books and collecting them since I was like 5 years old. I've got almost 1,000 comics, like all wrapped up in drawers and everything.
You can
and
discern
you have
the
these
fake fans.
fans that'll come and try to talk to me about superheroes, and they have their facts completely wrong. For one, and for two, they're talking about stuff that doesn't exist. Like one guy told me like we had a thing, who would win, Magneto or Wolverine? And he's like, Wolverine. I'm like, dude.
Wait.
I'm like, you don't even know.
do you understand?
Wait,
how
is this anime?
immense your bones are?
No,
in your
this isn't
body?
anime, but
you can't just
You
rip
could
the skin off your
make
your
Marvel
bones.
anime.
In one of the comics, there's so many I don't remember the numbers anymore. One of the comics, Magneto literally rips all the adamantium from Wolverine's body. And he no longer has the adamantium skeleton.
He's
That's
just
pretty rude.
He's just a guy.
In a
Super
mat,
rude.
I mean, he can
It's very disrespectful.
heal. Obviously, he's got his regeneration.
He lived it.
I personally
He died, but he
love
lived it.
Magneto. Magneto is in my top 5 villains of all time. I love Magneto. I love X-Men in general, but just the grace and the mercy of Magneto to not just hover above the X freaking school and just make Wolverine slash everyone to pieces.
I know this is an anime, but
Just destroy them all.
he's not a villain in my eyes. He wants to build a utopia for his people. The way he goes about it, questionable.
You gotta be careful. How you talking about that type
We're
of
going
stuff.
down a dark rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait.
We're
Let's get back.
We're losing Otaku.
Let's get back to Otaku and Chill.
No more Otaku.
Now we're getting.
We're now a Marvel podcast.
Ni hao, back to China.
All right.
Branches.
Japan.
My anime that got me into anime.
Ohio.
Now, you guys probably know
Oh,
this.
no.
Rurouni Kenshin. My heart and soul, right? So I will continue to preach that this is my favorite anime of all time. And when people ask me why, I think it comes down to just the heart of it. Like, I will be the first to admit it is the cheesiest anime. It is the cheesiest anime. But the heart and soul of it, like, I feel Rurouni Kenshin in my bones, you know? Like, that's how I want to live my life. I want to be just, like, a guy who helps the people around me. Like, I don't have some, like, I'm going to save the world from this. Like, no, I just want to be a guy who helps the people around me, the people I come into contact with. And that's what Kenshin does, and he does it without killing. And it's beautiful, and the fight scenes are so meticulously thought out. And so, like, that kind of, I was like, man, they can turn this, like, beautiful, false world into this wonderful thing. And then I ever since then, I've just sought anime out, and it's been my heart and soul.
What I love, too, though, like, just with the Japanese culture, they put so much pride in their history.
They
right?
do.
Like,
They do.
So even the groups that they spoke on that, like, were in the midst of this
The
whole
warring era.
Ronin, moment, like, it was all, like, up to date and accurate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You could obviously insert this character in there, but I agree with you. It was his, like, the whole struggle was him. I'm going to try as hard as I can not to kill you.
Not to kill.
I could just kill you. I could just
You
kill you
could,
immediately.
I could just slice you
I
in
am the
half right
Baton
now.
side, but you know what? Instead, like, I'm going to do everything I can and just make you not be able
Oh,
to use
it's
the sword again.
self-discipline. It's that self-discipline
We had
and
this
self-control.
hour-long 3-episode fight,
So good.
and I just want to hit you with the pinky and ring finger so you can't properly hold a sword
Yes.
to kill anymore. Like, you're so weak now. Like, it's beautiful.
It is
man.
beautiful. It is beautiful
really
in its own
is.
way, and that's what got me. I mean, obviously, I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, but what really got me into like the heart of anime was
Yeah.
Kenshin. Kenshin got me there.
Everything in that moment, too, they put so much in the internal. Like, there's the internal struggle that the protagonists and antagonists are going through, and, like,
Yeah.
you got so much that you don't get now. Like, watch Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai. And
It's like all action packed. It's
they
all
just
action
cut
packed.
out all the internal, like, yes,
Oh,
Frieza and
internal.
Goku. Goku held the spirit bomb above his head for like 5 episodes.
It was like 10. It was like 10
he was just
episodes.
screaming and screaming nonstop. But in reality, like, that was only like an hour long. Like in their world, you know, you were watching for a month, 1 hour of this intense moment that just got smacked away anyway. Because God, I hate Frieza.
Dang it, Frieza! Come on.
There it is. I hate him. But like they cut so much of that out, and I liked having that internal.
Yeah,
like Vegeta has a really inferiority complex.
He
to
does.
Goku and like
Oh my gosh.
little man syndrome to the nine.
I like diving into those like internal thoughts inside the anime too because
It
it's
makes them human.
so relatable. It makes it
them
so
human.
relatable.
They're
It's not just like
these-
a lot of it. Some of the animes I find I don't like nowadays are the ones where it's just like it's very surface level and it's all about like, okay, well look at this crazy action packed, really cool by the way, animated scene, but like you miss. I feel like it takes away some of the heart and some of like the way that people relate.
But here's this hot chick who also likes him and trips a lot, and her clothes kind of fall off. You know,
That's it.
I think a part of it is now that they don't have that like all aroundness that some of like the older originals. Like it had to be a good story, it had to be good animation, it had to be good fights. Like, and they were, and now things like break down where it's like, oh, you want a good story? Well, you got to watch Slice of Life, or like you want feels, like you go to. It's
very isolated like genres now. Where before it was like this anime kind of has it all in a
A
sense.
season will go by, and it feels like an episode.
I
It
might
feels like just a couple fights.
I might catch like some hate here, but like One Punch Man, I feel like is weird because it's got the super, especially season 1 has like the super amazing, like most beautiful fights you ever seen, but it's like focusing on Saitama's like depression and how he doesn't get anything.
But I do love that. I do love the depth. The depth of him just
man.
being like, "There's no match for me," and I'm so depressed by it. Like,
But that's
I'm losing my desire to fight because no one can beat me.
well, that's kind of a recurring theme in some animes.
Yeah, I mean, even Goku's become insanely looking for a fight. Like someone needs to fight me.
If you watched Record of Ragnarok recently, which was on Netflix,
I'm current.
We read the manga on that.
Here we are.
Chris has got an opinion. Let's hear it.
You gotta read the manga of Records of Ragnarok.
So much better.
That anime was atrocious.
That anime was bad.
They just tried to make the anime like the book.
Okay.
They tried to give you
I'm an animation snob. I'll admit, I love a good animated fight scene, and those they were not.
He's not wrong.
I thought they were okay. Solidly okay. I've seen worse.
Maybe because I read the manga first, and I was expecting so much more.
It does make a lot hard. So what do you think? Okay, even adding on to that,
Mob Psycho. Everyone says it's not better than the book. I kind of like the anime of Mob Psycho a lot more than the book.
Better.
Oh,
the book, the art style is scratch.
We will get into this later, but there is a whole wave of books that are just hideous to look at. They're chicken scratch books, but they are the real story. They're like Mob Psycho, One Punch Man's true story.
And then the animators come along. We're gonna take this.
There are two One Punch Mans. One is beautifully drawn. The other one is just garbage.
Yeah.
Well, the original creator won.
Do you know the story about why the seasons are so different?
Well,
so the first season was literally a custom, hand-picked, passion project, and then
because
they moved on.
Mob Psycho won that.
Yeah, so he went. So they went to work on Mob Psycho, and so season 2 was literally just here you go, next highest bidder or lowest bidder, and obviously it shows, but I'm not the most observant person. But the watching through the first time, not knowing that it was different because the second season is so story based.
Oh, yeah. So
really, the only thing that I noticed that was different was the metal on Genos, because that perfect reflective dark look they did in season 1 was perfect, right?
It was beautiful.
And season 2 looks like somebody took a scratch pad to a Scotch-Brite to your stove.
I don't know. I agree with you. It didn't seem that much different.
But it didn't really matter.
Very rushed. They were like, okay, we got so much more money. Let's just pump this out.
Well,
I liked it.
Yeah.
And I do like that they stayed with the story. And it started that whole conversation of all the other heroes, because that's a big part to me of One Punch Man. It's you get Saitama, you got the unstoppable One Punch, but then they develop a whole story around it of all the other S rank and A rank heroes, and then the demon organization or the monster organization. And you get all these different the dragon class, the monster, all the different levels, or the ninja who joined the monster association.
It's not as shallow as it comes across as, it comes
across
it comes across as shallow, but there's so much depth there.
When I saw all the competition with Flashy
the...
Flash and other people, and the fact that those one ninjas were oh yeah, we know Flashy Flash.
We're better than
tribe
him.
is in there. Yeah, when they built all that, it was just I don't even care about I'm so glad that Saitama is grocery shopping over here, because I want to see what the Bat Kid's doing and his sister, and you want all these other stories so much more.
Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider.
Speaking of mangas involving going off the direction of the main character, I don't know how many you read. Was it Fight Class 3? Which I think is a manhwa technically, but the first part of the story is all about the main character, his life. And then it gets into its entire class for 130 chapters. It's he's not even in it.
Does it?
Yeah, it's just their stories, their fights.
You said that to me and I stopped on 20. You're breaking me.
It was a long time
awesome.
without him.
That's awesome.
But it's cool because they actually turn it around. Because he was there the whole time watching his other class fight. And he has a thing where he can pick up moves instantly. So when they finally introduce him back into the story, he's pretty much using their moves. I don't know. It was nice. Nice touch.
I have to read it. I've never read it.
It's good.
All right. Sidebar, and then another question. So one of the other things I think that One Punch Man does beautifully in the manga, that they don't really touch on in the anime, is there's still that mystery at the end of how did Saitama get like this?
Yeah, it's
his
100
limiter.
push-ups, 100
yeah,
sit-ups,
yeah.
100 squats.
Who's gonna accept that answer?
Regimen, dude.
That's how it happened.
He unlocked his potential.
they talk about it. He broke his limiter and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, how? Because you know it wasn't the push-ups and the sit-ups.
It's probably a mental thing.
Are you caught up with the manga?
Yes, and
I think it's the same deal with how Blast.
Yeah.
Those cubes.
Blast
he had to have come
100%
across
broke his limiter. He had to have. He's that. I mean,